What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Two Shots Dominguez, and join me tonight, it's Chris, the Stats Man Gorman. Hit him with the stats, Chris.
Hey! My stat today is I'm noticing every advertisement for tickets next season includes Victor Wembanyama, whether or not he plays on your team. So Minnesota Timberwolves, you want to see Wemby next season? 10 games flex plan right now. See Wemby.
See when he comes to Minnesota. Yeah, hey, maybe we have to get on that, Joey. Get a little Bulls tickets. Because he sees red, bleeds Bulls. It's the Lombard shirt. Bukowski, get that, Joe.
Happy 100th full-length episode.
Yes.
3 years.
Joey brings up a great point. This is our 100th official episode, 100th-ish episode. We've done some off-season stuff. We've done some post-game recaps that we don't count. So this is our 100th episode. Adam is not joining us tonight. He has the night off. But it'll be the original three amigos tonight. And we have a fun show in store for you guys. We obviously are going to full circle because our first ever episode talked about the Harden trade. We're going to talk about all the trades that have been happening.
It really has come full circle with
another
Harden trade.
Another Harden trade on the horizon. This was almost to the day here. It's the fourth time he's been traded in our podcast lifetime?
We got traded once, twice. This will be the third
time.
Back to Houston.
Yeah, potentially back to the team he came
Houston
from.
Houston to Brooklyn, Brooklyn to Philly, Philly back to
Wow.
3 times a lady.
Crazy. So we got that. We're going to do some light draft breakdown because none of us are draft guys. We're just going to talk about Wemby probably and some other stuff. We're going to talk about some NBA hard pills to swallow, a good topic brought to us by the stats man there. This should be fun. And then we're going to get a little sentimental, have a few laughs, and we're going to go over our favorite Box Out Boys moments. Joey's done all the legwork, clips from our old show, some of our favorites that we talked about in our group chat. It's going to be fun. Joey, you excited about that or what, man?
I'm super excited because I've already heard them, and I had to stop re-recording a few of them and restart due to me laughing and just my initial reaction. So I'm very excited to hear you guys hear them for the first time again and us to have a good laugh at how far we've come. And also how short we've come in some of our discussions.
Yes, we have grown some, and in other ways maybe not. But it's all right. We've been having fun. I guess hey, look, 100 episodes. You guys, what do you think, man? Has it been fun? I think it's been a fun show. So
it's been great.
Yeah, Joey, it's been great.
I've enjoyed myself.
Chris has enjoyed himself.
What started as a New Year's Eve discussion during COVID.
Yeah.
And our first episode, the trailer, January 6th. The first official episode, January 13th.
Yeah.
And now here we are. January 13th, 2021.
Wow. Just a place to house all of my NBA opinions in one place.
Yes, we've had some banger opinions throughout our time.
We have had
notable people have been left off lists.
There's been some very bad takes, some very good takes.
Some sandwiches are considered sandwiches that are not. Just a little teasers here. Baskets be awesome. 100. I didn't realize this was a question. Which player in the NBA would you have a sub on a podcast for one episode? Oh, have substitute
on the podcast.
Yes. You know what? I'm just gonna do it. I would get Kyrie because I think that would be a shit show, but I think it would also be awesome.
It would get us the most possible downloads we can have.
Kyrie, go. Or
That's
KD. KD's another guy. Maybe go.
If you want to go for loads, that's a good one.
Yeah, loads. Who would you guys
Draymond?
Draymond. Oh, Draymond. Yeah,
Draymond's getting a lot of loads.
Draymond would be good. Bobby Portis.
Ooh, get those eyes that's on there.
Yeah. Kobe White to defend himself.
Kobe White.
I don't think he wants to defend himself.
No. Kobe should have traded him 2 years ago.
He has nothing to defend.
Nothing to defend. Well, I'm sure we'll dip into that old conversation. All right, well, let's get started here, boys. A wild offseason to start, I guess, is the way we can kind of put this. I don't know where you guys stand. I'm just going to throw out all the trades that have happened, and then I'll throw it to you guys. You guys can kind of just go through them as you like.
Perfect.
So obviously Beal got traded to the Suns. I don't have all the packages written down here right now, but Beal to the Suns, Porzingis to the Celtics, CP3 to the Warriors, CP3 to the Wizards, then the Warriors, and then Collins to Utah by way of Atlanta.
Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies.
Marcus Smart to the Grizzlies in that Porzingis trade. Chris, I'll start with you here on this one. One, what was your favorite trade? Who do you think is the best fit? And then what trade do you think is maybe a miss?
Okay, so I don't know if this has been talked about. I haven't seen it as talked about as much, but I love that Boston traded Marcus Smart. I think everyone in Boston hated it because they loved Marcus Smart, but they needed to get rid of him.
Yes.
If anybody who was like a non fan of Boston was watching Boston last season, seeing Marcus Smart just throw up shots in crunch time so many times took him out of games. And the fact that they got rid of him and got an asset in Porzingis, who I don't
guy.
Whatever, he's fine. But it's just the fact that they got off Marcus Smart and now they can put in Derek White at the one. It doesn't matter. That was the best move for sure. And it's a great move for Memphis because they don't want Dylan Brooks. They want a slightly less crazy Dylan Brooks who can still play defense, and Marcus Smart. I think that's the most impactful trade, I feel like, of the offseason of anything else.
Especially with Ja going to be out for 25 games.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I really like that trade for them.
Hell, they might go like 20-5 during that stretch if knowing Memphis.
Yeah.
Right. They always seem to play better without Ja anyways.
That they do.
And I like Porzingis to the Celtics. I think that's interesting. I don't know how that's going to actually work out, but a guy that can maybe score in the post.
Dude, they made Luke Cornett look like a valuable NBA player. So just imagine Porzingis there.
Porzingis the unicorn. I had to shout out my wife here for this one because she sort of adopted the Celtics during this year's playoffs run, and Porzingis is one of her favorite players because he's called the unicorn. So she was super excited about it. Although she was bummed that green hair got traded, but she also agreed that he made some bad plays down the stretch. So, Joey, what did you think was your favorite trade?
I don't know if I had a favorite, but I think what I kind of noticed is like every team that's getting a big name player, I feel like they've won every trade. Like the Suns won that Beal trade. I mean, the Wizards, you could say they got off of Beal's no trade contract, so that's a win. But I mean, you could talk for hours about is Beal a good fit for that team and does it make sense? But I mean, it's not a bad pickup, right?
Yeah.
The Jazz definitely won in giving up Rudy Gay in a second-round pick for John Collins. I think that's a win. The Grizzlies win. The Celtics win. Everybody seems to be winning in these trades.
Winning.
I do agree, though. I think the Marcus Smart trade is the best for a team that in the Celtics who was maybe arguably one kind of better player away, somebody not making boneheaded decisions when it counted the most.
Yeah.
Yes, you are trading some of your culture and your heart and soul, but at some point you have to have another guy who becomes the culture player and replace that with somebody who can actually get you buckets. And for Memphis, it's perfect, right? A young team, immature, as we saw last season. It needs kind of some veteran leadership. They now also have the past 2 defensive players of the year. So they should continue being their kind of hard-nosed, they're kind of hard-nosed, in your face, kind of braggadocious team. But it's an upgrade for sure for them from someone like.
Should we have a counter of how many times Joey says braggadocious?
Yes.
Do I say it?
It's got to be
often.
I don't know.
If anybody's, the only time I hear it is when you say it.
We can scour the
I'll save it for the
episodes
200.
You just, save it for 200. You just need to just work it in from now on, especially when we talk about Memphis, the braggadocious.
I will make sure I do that. So this is one episode 100. Count one.
Count one. The count is on.
Yeah, but everybody winning is my big takeaway, and I think Memphis and Boston for sure are my favorite trades so far.
I'm actually going to shout out that CP3 trade to the Warriors. To me, I really liked it as far as it signaled that they're all in, like getting rid of Jordan Poole. Maybe, as we can kind of shift to trades that are on the horizon or things that haven't happened yet. Like you can look at Portland with what's going to happen with Damian Lillard, where they're not going all the way in by not trading Scoot Henderson or that number 3 pick. I know there wasn't a lot out there for them too, but you can see that they're not making that move. Where the Warriors trading a guy in Poole, and I know that was a bit of a salary dump in a way because they don't want to pay him down the road, but getting Chris Paul, who can kind of run that second unit, I guess, is kind of what I've been hearing as far as what the plan is going to be. Him coming off the bench, maybe only getting 26 minutes a game, but it's a nice role for him, and it should signal this sort of last shot at it with, obviously they still have to re-sign Draymond, but that's in the wing. I really like that trade for them. I like the Warriors. So, Chris, any trade that didn't kind of land for you, or it sounds like Joey was on board with all the trades. I don't know if any trade
were
really didn't.
Joey.
I think he's right though. I think that they were all
I
pretty
don't
good.
like the Beal trade. I think it's a very new owner, short-sighted thing. Going through that last year with the Gobert trade,
they have no picks.
What?
The Suns.
Both teams. Yeah.
Well,
So,
you're to Minnesota.
But yeah, the Beal thing, like, okay. Did you see Kevin Durant went to a Twitter huddle? Because there's like people. This guy, Legends of Winning, was talking about how like Kevin Durant's not top 5 in the NBA because of why are we still calling Kevin Durant top 5? I kind of agree with it. I haven't gone through I need to do my rankings of top players in the league.
We should do this, by the way.
We should. Maybe we'll save it for next week, if whatever. And
whenever next show is.
It's just a lot because the Suns got Book, Durant, Beal, Ayton. They couldn't trade DeAndre Ayton to Dallas for what was it? Tim Hardaway,
JaVale McGee,
somebody else, but it was because of JaVale McGee. It was too rich for them because he was too big of a contract. They didn't want to take it on. Ayton's got no value right now, it feels like. And the Suns team that just got Beal, I don't like it. I think Tice, you're gonna talk about this later.
Yeah.
They're just not. It's just such a short-sighted thing. Like, oh, we only need these 4 players to win. It's like, didn't we just see what Denver did? Like, you need 7 players to win. I guess that's what. Denver.
You need some pieces, and we're definitely gonna talk about that coming up.
You need more than fucking 4 guys. So I hated the Beal trade. I really did. The more I look at it, especially because the guy doesn't play basketball, man. He plays like 50 games a year. And Washington always looks good early. They're like a 4 seed for a while, and then they fall off because Beal gets hurt because he's not conditioned enough to play. I don't know if that's really true, but I'm just gonna say that. So,
hot takes from Chris. All right, well, I think that's kind of it on the trades. Obviously, there's still there's Dame is still in the works, and then obviously just coming across the wire a couple hours ago is Harden is kind of requesting a trade out of Philly. So, full circle.
Harden to Houston.
Only he got traded today. That would have been.
If only he got traded today, would have been unbelievable. But it's crazy to me that he wants out. If he goes to Houston, if that's really what, I'm not going to care about Harden one bit. I barely cared about him as it was.
The biggest cancer player in NBA history.
Goodbye.
There was a stat that I should have said this at the top, but Harden, Kyrie, and KD have combined for 7 trade requests over the last 2 or 3 years. And so it's true, cool. Right? Like this is Harden's 3rd.
Kyrie's meeting with the Suns too.
I don't know if that's actually happened. Yeah, I've heard conflicting reports.
But supposedly he's going to meet with the Suns. That was on the low post today. So supposedly he's going to meet with the Suns, which they don't need him either. Yeah, but
going to Navajo Nation
again. Another short-sighted.
Yeah. What are we doing here, guys?
Defense still matters.
It matters.
Defense matters. Please.
All right, well, let's see how we can do here on the draft. Like I said, all right, do not come to the Box Out Boys for draft analysis. We are not college basketball watchers for the most part. We do watch the March Madness, but at this
point, a
whole
episode on our picks. That was a good time.
Yeah, we did. I mean, at this point, though, the top 5 guys were not. I think there was only one guy that was actually in college, right? It was Brandon Miller was the only guy that was in college. Everybody else was in either the G League Unite or G League League, and then
G League. What's the other one?
The Overtime Elite.
Overtime Elite. Or Europe.
Or Europe. So, yes. Definitely a change. So, we can run through the top 5 picks here. We got, obviously, Wemby number 1. Brandon Miller, 2. Kind of the surprise. I know that was kind of talked about as it came up. But, the Hornets taking him over Scoot, who went 3rd to Portland, who, moved up. And then the Thompson brothers going 4-5. Joey, let's go to you, man. One, I guess let's just talk about Wemby. Are you excited? Are you going to be, buying tickets to the Bulls Spurs game this year to see Wemby? Are you interested in this? And then kind of maybe what do you think about Scoot going 3 to Portland and, kind of what they should do with that pick and with him there?
Yeah, I'm excited about Wemby. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily buy tickets to go see him play yet. I feel like it's got to be like one more year, maybe like a full season of it to kind of get his feet wet. I don't know. I mean, he could be amazing. He could just be. I mean, he's probably going to be amazing, but I don't know if like right off the bat I'm going to be super interested. The other thing I keep thinking about, and I saw this pop up somewhere, but Chet Holmgren, right, will be back this season, which will technically be considered his rookie season, Ben Simmons style. So that might actually be an interesting, like, kind of compelling storyline to watch because Wemby's obviously bigger and more talented, but like build wise, they're slightly similar. And you would assume Chet is on a better team with Giddey and Shai Gilgeous, and like I don't know. So I'm kind of curious about that aspect of it. The Wemby versus Chet kind of battle might be interesting to watch. I was surprised in the Scoot Brandon Miller thing. I think this is a really big argument in like every other, not every other sport, but football the most, right? Where when you do these drafts, it's always about, do you take the best talent when you have the option, or do you take the best fit? Yeah. It seems like Charlotte went for the best fit that they needed. They didn't want another LaMelo Ball type player, another kind of explosive guard on their team. So that'll be really interesting to see because the Hornets have, outside of Melo, have not been anything to write home about. And this will be interesting in 2-3 years to see if they got this one right or if they completely swung and missed on it. I'm mostly shocked that nobody made an offer to the Blazers that was great enough to give away that pick. I kind of thought, when they took it, and I think I messaged the group and said, bye-bye Dame.
Yeah.
I thought for sure that it was going to be the next day or two that it was like, yeah, Dame wants out. That seemed to be like the piece, like, hey, if we're taking Scoot, we don't need Dame anymore. So I'm surprised somebody wasn't throwing anything at. Maybe they were, we just don't know about it. But that'll be a fun kind of battle to watch. I am actually, this might be one of the first years that there may not be a consent. Like Wemby is probably, I guess, the favorite for rookie of the year, but you've got the number 2 pick from last year who's going to be in contention. And then you've got a guy in Brandon Miller, who's going to be, everybody's going to be talking about, like, if he stumbles just a bit, like he should not have been the second pick. So he might have a little chip on his shoulder. And then you've got Scoot, who is probably upset that he wasn't the number 2 pick. He's going to have a chip on his shoulder. And either that is his team in Portland, right, if Dame's not there, or Dame is there and they're playing really well, which could benefit him as well. So there might be actually some contention, and we haven't had a good rookie of the year contention for some time. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the rookie class.
Nice. Chris, give me a pick that you liked, maybe a little bit later in the draft or anything.
Name wise, obviously Grady Dick, great name.
Great name.
Grady Dick from Regina.
What a suit!
Noah Clowney at 21. I just remember him in the tournament. He was Brandon Miller's teammate at Alabama. He's going to Brooklyn, so he's the name I'll look at. I also like Chris Murray. He's Keegan Murray's twin brother.
Yeah,
he went 23rd to Portland. I give you a couple names, but those are the two I'm really gonna watch. Oh, and also Marcus Sasser. He's the guard out of Houston. He's a senior. And he's going to be in Memphis. And he was just a little lightning bolt, like just moving around the court.
A bit braggadocious.
So,
braggadocious.
But one thing I wanted to say about this draft is this draft will remind me a lot of the 2005 draft where Bogut went first, followed by Marvin Williams, and then Darren Williams, and then Chris Paul. So we had the Atlanta Hawks decided to take that 6'8" small forward because fit over a generational talent. And I honestly believe Scoot Henderson could be that guy. Just he looks big, and I like the twins in Amon and Asir Thompson. So I think Brandon Miller is going to be the bust. I know he's saying some stupid things, and that's fine. I'm not going to knock him for the Paul George, or I'm just going to call it out. It was really dumb, but I think he's going to be a huge bust. And I like Scoot a lot.
I don't know. He just feels like that name. Is it the Jordan draft? It was Olajuwon 1, right? And then
Sam Bowie.
It's Sam Bowie, and then Jordan. And that's kind of what, I mean, obviously not comparing Scoot Henderson to Jordan, but it feels like you got this Victor Wembanyama, this great name, Scoot Henderson, and then you have Brandon Miller.
You mean Brandon Miller and Scoot? Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's just like this in between guy where you're like, that's not gonna. You can just see that later down the road, and that's the only reason why I feel like it might be a bust. But I'm also, hey, he's like a 6'8", wing that can shoot. So this is exactly what you need in this league. So that it's who knows, man. My pick, I loved Jaime Jaquez going to the Heat. I was a big Juicy LA fan for so long, the last couple of years, watching him in the tournament. I loved Jaime Jaquez and him going to Heat culture.
It's a good Heat fit.
Yes, he's gonna get that man some minutes. I'm gonna let you know right now. I'm gonna a deep cut pick for me for sixth man of the year in our
Jaime Jaquez
NBA picks. There's no logic behind it, just other than I want to root for Jaime Jaquez.
Fair enough.
So that's my boy.
You do you, man.
All right, let's get into our next topic.
Did you have anything extra?
Oh, yes, I did. Mm-hmm. You are right. See, look at this. I forgot a special feature. So I'll let you guys pick, but I didn't know that you guys know. Obviously, it's our 100th episode, so it's kind of a special episode. But I guess I didn't realize this. But when you upload a podcast to Spotify, there's like an AI or something that automatically gives a draft scouting report for the hosts on the podcast. So this is not something that was written by me or anything like that. This is obviously coming from a third party outside of us. But I found and I have access to our podcast draft reports if you guys would like to hear them.
I would. I'm curious what this means.
Let's go.
So I have it on for all three of us. Whose would you like to hear first?
Joey.
Chris? He said Chris, Joey. All right. I do have Chris up front, so let's...
I said Joey first, but that's fine. All right.
You want to hear Joey's first? We can hear Joey's first.
That's fine. I go first.
All right.
I'm always first.
All right. This is not written by me. This was not done by anything. This was just, I found this through back channels. All right. So for Joey here, the consummate professional, Joey, the lawn boss McCrowski, is an excellent target for any podcast looking for a plug-and-play addition to their team. A grinder off the air, he is always watching games and getting into the nitty-gritty of the NBA. He projects as a top-tier straight man at the next level. A hot take artist, he is not, but if drafted to your podcast, he'll bring dedication and professionalism to your favorite show. Strengths, passion for his team, character guy, great show awareness, hardworking and prepared. Weaknesses, only watches the Bulls.
This is hilarious. This is
could be more aggressive with his takes. Occasionally too serious, and rage quits the group chat when he gets frustrated. Comps.
Wait, this is legitimately written by a third party? Tight ass.
Comps, Doris Burke, Tess Mellis, and Casey Johnson. So that was the third party that wrote that. Again,
Michelle.
They hit it.
Michelle writing this?
No, I wrote this, but it was. Let's pretend this is. I found this written.
Okay.
So all right, we want to hear the big man stats.
That's well done. Thank you.
All right, here we go, Chris. For Chris, they have again third party is what they have. A big man with big personality. Chris, the stats man Gorman, is one of the most promising personalities in this year's podcaster draft. His infectious energy on the mic and deep knowledge of rosters makes him an exciting addition to any podcasting team. He projects as a strong color man at the next level. His ability to say unintentionally funny things while being subtly witty and insightful will surely add some spice to your favorite podcast lineup. Strengths, deep knowledge of players and stats. Sneaky athletic. Flexible to new ideas. and willing to give an opinion. Weaknesses: could be a liability pre-show. Can be noisy on air. Occasionally shows up drunk for a podcast. And lastly, while his chances of being canceled aren't high, they're not zero. Comps: Charles Barkley, Lee Ellis, and Stacey King. That was a good one. I like that one. I felt that was fair.
Oh, that's so good.
All right. And then lastly, we'll go with me. Again, that's what they said about me. So
I was muted that whole time.
I know, I saw you guys laughing off air.
The AI had really well done there. That was great.
I had to mute it.
Yeah, to mute it. All right. This is what they have for me. The vibes guy. Titus Two Shots Dominguez has all the tools to make an excellent podcaster. He has natural charisma and leadership that would bring fresh air to any podcast he's drafted to. He projects as a solid host at the next level. His ability to bring the team together and good vibes only personality makes him a sleeper prospect with high upside in the mid to late first round. Strengths: great podcast vision, leader in the locker room, ability to keep the show moving, solid intros and sign-offs. Weaknesses: moody and temperamental, doesn't update his computer, occasionally misses shows, might get lost in his hippie lifestyle and retire early. Comps: Mark Jones, Jay Skeets, Adam Amin.
That's a good one. I like the might retire early.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was really trying to work in a way to say might be running an organic cucumber farm in 5 years, but I couldn't figure that out.
Oh my goodness gracious! Well done.
That was
So that was
great.
my little surprise for you guys.
Very
for
well written.
So
That's fantastic.
spent some time thinking about that, and that was actually really fun to do.
That was
I
good.
tried to
Well
be-
done.
Try to be funny and not, mean to anybody. But
That was
it
great.
was good.
It was the perfect mix of mean and funny together. It was
Yes.
good.
That'd be way meaner.
Oh, that's funny.
Well, I mean, that's Spotify wrote that. We'll see. So hopefully one of us gets drafted soon.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. All right, you're right. Now we can move on to our NBA hard pills to swallow. Chris brought this up for us. So this is something that fans don't want to hear about their team or about a situation. That could be a hard pill to swallow. Chris, do you want to start this off?
Okay. So the one I had earlier is mine.
I'm not saying
I'm gonna
that's
say it
mine,
on the
but
pod.
it's
The Bulls aren't they're just not gonna be higher than the 7th seed, guys. I'm sorry.
Yes.
They went 3 years ago, I guess, or 2 years ago. I don't remember when they made the Vooch trade. I can respect that they did it.
Yes.
I didn't like it at the time. We talked about it in the pod. We have receipts. But like, I at least understood why they did it. What I can't forgive them for is then drafting Dalen Terry and keeping those first round picks and not going all in on this. They're just kind of they're stuck in the middle and they're doing it to themselves. And so I am swallowing that pill that they're not, even if next season they're a top 4 for whatever reason again, it's not gonna be a thing.
It won't be.
And yeah, there's another tough pill that I'm not even gonna swallow yet, and that's the fact that the Timberwolves may not be that good with Rudy Gobert. I am still hopeful on this roster. It's stupid that I am because
get a glass of water, buddy.
how the 5-man lineup of Towns, Gobert, McDaniels, Edwards, and Conley. I think they played like 13 minutes together, to be honest, like the full season. So hey, maybe that roster, maybe those 5 can do it. They signed Naz Reid back, which by the way, the Bulls could have given Naz $60 million over Vooch, but whatever.
Well, whatever.
So that's for me to say. That's not. I'm not swallowing that pill yet, and but the Bulls one, I'm ready to swallow.
Yeah, I'm with you there, buddy. I'm swallowing that pill. I'll watch them, but there's no passion behind it. I'm just gonna watch and be like, hey, fun. Thank you, Levine, for scoring.
Even if they win like 50 games, I'm sorry,
they're not gonna win their games. They mess up a lot when they didn't trade. Like Kobe and P. Will early on when they had value, and now they don't have value. And now
I really held on. when we first started this podcast, I was more in the mindset of trusting the leadership, the general managers of like, hey, they actually see some of this young talent, and then realizing no, they don't. They just don't feel like making a move that could get them fired.
Yeah.
So they play it safe. And so yeah, I'm cynical now forever, and I feel I could do a better job than any of them because they're just human beings.
Yes.
Kyle Davidson, the GM of the Blackhawks, is 34 years old, or 35. So like,
Young
I know
man.
he's been doing a little bit longer
Very
than I
young
have,
man.
but at the same time, and that's hockey. But this, I'm talking about with both. Like the point is, we have some things that I think actually are coming into fruition, but we're just not friends with Jerry Reinsdorf, so we can't do that right now. So anyways.
I mean, I don't want to do the I told you so, but the Levine money looks bad. So here we go.
I'm not even mad at Levine.
No, it's not. I'm not mad at Levine. He should get his money. I'm mad at the Bulls. The Bulls shouldn't have done that. Joey, what is your NBA hard pill to swallow?
My hard pill to swallow, and this is more of a league look, is the Nuggets will likely be the favorite for the title this season and will likely own up to it. And I say a hard pill to swallow because I believe the NBA is best when there is not a dominant team.
Yeah.
And I think with like all the moving pieces that have already happened with some of the big names, that could provide a little bit of chaos, as in like there could be some crazy competition among some of these, stacked super teams. But I think that all the money is going to be on the Nuggets, and Jokic is going to be obviously, he's going to come in as the MVP favorite, and likely they're going to be favored to win again. And for me,
they are favored to win again.
Yeah. I like when there's not like a definitive favorite. It doesn't happen often in basketball, right? Usually they get the team that wins the title when they retain most of the players, they kind of come back in as the favorite. But this year, more than any, it kind of feels like with how good Jokic is and the way that team is built, that they're going to live up to that hype. And I kind of like some of the different storylines when you have other teams that are kind of, jockeying for position and there's a little bit more parity in the league. So for me, that's a little bit of a hard pill. It's kind of a weird take, but
I like that a lot.
Yeah. It's interesting because I don't know. So I think Denver is going to be the favorite. I think rightly. I think they are the best team in the league right now. But I think some teams made some interesting moves that, for me, I mean, again, it has to play out. I think you're right in the sense of like, I might not be swallowing that tough pill right now, where I might be still holding out hope that, all right, hey, does Boston do something weird here with Porzingis? Does CP3, is he the right piece to get Golden State? And with having them, without the Jordan Poole and Draymond Green drama from last year, does that team kind of right the ship? Is Memphis actually going to be pretty good with Marcus Smart? Like, those things are kind of interesting to me. Or can the Bucks be, maybe a foil to Denver if they can get to the finals? If we finally get Bucks Nuggets, we finally get Jokic versus Giannis.
Imagine 3 years and they make.
Oh my God, that release would be so good, my friend.
So many loads.
No, hold on. I just had this random thought. I feel like Giannis Jokic is this era's Kobe versus LeBron, right? Like a matchup that
they never played each other in the finals.
But a matchup that everybody wants that is not going to happen.
It's fair.
I feel like that's going to be such great. But no, I'm kind of with you, Joey. I think you might be right. Like, they might be the overall favorite, and that might just be kind of a slow march to a second title. I'm still holding out hope. I still got that pill in my mouth, and I'm not quite swallowing it yet. I think there's still going to be some excitement next year, but we'll see. But because I'm with you too, if it is a kind of a all said and done, when kind of an easy prediction, it does kind of make the league boring. My NBA hard pill to swallow was that you cannot buy a title anymore. I think you could look at what the last few champions have done. I mean, I think I would take out like LA because of getting LeBron. LeBron's different, but even you can go back to look at the Warriors. That was built. That was built through the draft. The Nuggets were built through the draft. the Bucks to some extent were built
So
through
like
the
the
draft.
Bucks technically were not built, but they kind of
Yeah,
were.
they
Like
kinda were, but
Middleton
kinda
was
weren't,
a G League dude. Holiday was a trade. He was on the team for 4 or 5 years. So yeah, I'm agree with the point.
Yeah, and then even like you look at Phoenix getting to the finals when they got there was kind of built through. Yeah, they added CP3, they added a piece, but like to me, like this, I think part of the hard pill as well is going to be the Suns aren't going to win. The Suns are not going to win the finals next year. I know everybody's talking about them, but Chris brought it up kind of in our first segment there. You need to play defense. You need a guy that can. You need your Michael Porter Juniors. You need your Aaron Gordons. You need your Browns coming off the bench. You need guys like that on your team to fill out your roster. Even look at the Heat. You know what I mean? You need your Duncan Robinsons. You need Caleb Martins. All those guys. You can't just do it by going. We've seen this. How many times have we seen this story in the last? I'm talking about the last handful of years. The Brooklyn Nets, Harden, Kyrie, Durant. Yeah, it was when they were together it was awesome, but they didn't win. Durant, Booker.
This feels like more of a knock on Kevin Durant.
It does feel like a knock on
Indirect.
Durant can't win a title, but I just don't think you trade so much depth to get these guys, and that depth. I mean, you need to have a superstar. I agree. You have to have a Jokic. You have to have a Giannis. You have to have a Durant or a Curry. You have to have that guy, but you also have to have the team around them for when they're having an off night or when the defense is getting different. Because like you were saying, Chris, who's going to be that guy that takes Jimmy Butler, or who's going to be the guy that takes Giannis on the Suns? You know what I mean? Who's guarding Jamal Murray and Jokic on the Suns? Is Beal going to, hey, he's going to slap the floor and get it going? No. So that was my hard pill to swallow.
Do you guys know that this is the first time, I don't know if it's in NBA history over the last like 20 or 30 years, where we've had 5 different champions?
Yeah, I think it's the first time in NBA history, I think.
Yeah, it was Nuggets, Warriors, Bucks, Lakers, Raptors. The only team to like kind of be built was the Lakers.
Yeah.
And that was also the bubble, which was a legitimate championship. But like, and then you have Warriors, Cavs, Warriors, Spurs, Heat. So it's basically just LeBron and then a team that like the Mavericks, Lakers, yeah, I don't know.
No, it's the way particularly the last 5 years, the way the last 5 years have gone with 5 different champions, 5 different kind of superstars.
I think LeBron kind of ruined that. People think that you can just build a championship if you just put a team together.
Yeah.
LeBron really ruined that. And now we have Beal in Phoenix.
Because that's what they think. They think just get 3 guys together. I mean, he had maybe the greatest player of all time.
We have that's why he's so underappreciated, because everyone just thinks they could replicate what he did. And you can't.
Let's just get Durant and some pieces, or Harden and Kyrie, or Durant and Beal and Booker. That's it, and we'll win it. And it's like, no.
Yeah, no.
Doesn't really work that way unless you have one of the top 5 players of all time. So,
way to go, LeBron.
Way to go, LeBron, ruining for everybody. But hey, that's fine. The team's going to be dumb, and the Phoenix Suns are completely screwed for the next however many years after this thing blows up. So good luck.
I love how I don't want to talk about it on this pod, but I love how we already talked the Phoenix Suns and Denver Nuggets out of the winning the championship next season. Let's keep doing this. Let's see how many teams we talk about. I think
team eliminator already.
Could we see a 6 straight team? What's more likely to happen? The Denver Nuggets win a title, back-to-back title, or we get a 6th different team.
So that means Warriors, Nuggets, Bucks, and Lakers cannot win it, or Raptors.
Yeah, or Raptors.
Which
they're not winning.
Yeah, Minnesota can definitely. Yeah,
Minnesota can win.
Yeah.
I think it's Boston. That's who my money's on right now, but we'll see.
Yeah, Boston looks
good.
They've looked good for a while though, so who knows? All right, I think without any further ado, though, we can kind of move on to our last and final segment. Our top moments. Top 10, is that how we're doing this officially, Joey?
Yes, it is an official top 10.
No particular ranking, right? This is just
no particular order.
No particular order. We got together in our group chat and just talked about our favorite moments from the past 100 episodes and change, because I think some of them are from some of our non-numbered episodes. So without further ado, Joey, let's just go ahead and get into it. Tell us what the clips are, maybe who submitted it, and then we're gonna play these little clips from our show. Hope you guys enjoy.
Yeah. So the first one, again, no particular order, comes from October 22nd of 2021. This is a me pick. The episode was episode 36, 21 and 22 award picks. So take a listen.
I'm going to take Bucks v. Nuggets.
Oh, wow. That's the number
I'm not
one
going to lock
seed.
it up.
That's the number one seed.
Yep.
So that was Bucks Nuggets. And
Bucks Nuggets.
I thought that I said Bucks Nuggets much closer together, but it was actually just a very long pause and then a long Nuggets.
The origins of Bucks Nuggets.
Is there a clip right after that where Titus goes Bucks Nuggets, or is that just from us talking about?
No,
it
I think that's just us
That's Mandela
creating.
effect.
Okay,
I think we've just created that entire sequence.
that's amazing.
I was expecting it to be much higher pitched and much more impressive, but I will also say that was the second podcast I believe that we recorded that night.
Yes, it was.
Going back to one of Chris's weaknesses.
The draft
Chris shows up to podcast potentially drunk, so I think we were just kind of down in just getting through the motions at that point. But
it's funny that little, because it kind of reminds me of how people always say it's Luke, I am your father, when he just says I am your father in Star Wars. How that kind of turned into this thing of Bucks Nuggets, and that's like how we've seen both the Bucks and Nuggets win a title at the time, and like how that's kind of sort of become this mythical matchup that we want for the Box Out Boys.
just so we can use the clip.
Just so we can use the clip.
Is not actually as impressive as we thought it was.
But it's still just so cool. That's the kind of stuff I like. So
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. All right. The next one is from Christmas Eve of 2021.
Okay.
Episode 45, an NBA Christmas.
Oh.
On the 12th day of Christmas, Adam Silver gave to me 12 Westbrook turnovers, 11 Giannis thirsters, 10 games, 10 next 9 the Noah Dudes, 8 Kobe White misses, 7 Jokic passes, 6 Bobby Giannis, 5 Curry threes, 4 Draymond Tags, 3 Gobert blocks, 2 Trae Young dimes, and DeRozan for MVP.
Oh god. Well done. The song.
The first song.
The first song. What a banger.
This really helped me understand auto-tune a little bit more, maybe. Or I don't know if Adam could have fixed that a little bit more with auto-tune.
I think he said he spent a pretty fair amount of time fixing it
Yeah.
already. And I also sang every verse of that the entire way through. So I think he was just done editing it.
Yeah, he's like, that's close enough.
That's close enough. But yeah, that was definitely better than my second song. I think I enjoyed the 12 Days of NBA Christmas a lot, especially the DeRozan for MVP, because at that point in time,
yes,
there was a sliver of hope on Christmas of 2021.
That was the height of our Bulls excitement on this podcast.
It really was.
So, but no, that was a great song. I loved it. And then we do have to shout out Adam for the production on that, because that was amazing. So, for
sure. All right, the next one. I think this might be one of our favorites as a group. This is from August 25th, 2022. So if anybody can guess what this one might be, it is an off-season podcast. Episode 70, the off-season off-topic food draft.
Let's go ahead and put Chris.
Oh, wow. All right.
Number three, and there's the number 3 pick.
Yeah, mine's a little more traditional, maybe a little more traditional of a sandwich. I'm going with the chicken salad sandwich. I don't know if this judges how you guys feel about this, but I've never had a bad chicken salad sandwich. Anywhere I go, if I see it and I don't know anything else on the menu, I'll get that. Good every time. It's one of those sandwiches where I still don't know how to make it at home from scratch.
I would say get a bread
so
bowl.
I always have to go out to buy it.
So,
Do you
where
like-
are you
do you
getting
like it
your
with
chicken
apple?
salad
Yeah,
from?
where are you getting it? Where's your
Do you
go-to?
have a specific place? Or is it
No.
just straight up?
No.
My fridge right now
It's
is
not
either
hard,
Market
no.
brand or Market Pantry brand chicken rotisserie.
Doesn't matter where.
I also go to Trader Joe's. I'm
Matter.
not.
You're just eating
being
straight
too
supermarket
specific.
chicken salad.
This is why I picked this as my number one, because I'm very well. No, like if I go to like Portillo's and they have
Oh, this is so long.
You'll eat it anywhere. That's the thing. Like,
and that's always my number one, because I don't have like a specific destination.
Oh
Like,
my
I have to have it here. I think, oh, this is perfect, and it feels like you're eating something healthy, even though it's totally not.
What's it say?
It's
You know,
totally
it's
not.
salad in the name. Yeah,
It's an
all
easy
about
sandwich,
the
right? You
mindset.
buy it pre-made. You just have to have
Mental
bread. You
health.
throw it on there, and
I don't think it needs anything else besides the chicken salad. Make
Oh,
it's-
Ricky.
it's a one-step, one ingredient thing.
Ricky.
Ricky.
Or sorry, Richie. Richie.
I should learn, but that's my pick.
I don't think I've ever had a chicken salad sandwich.
I do that.
I understand the concept behind it, so I
I can't believe you guys have never had a chicken salad
Still
sandwich.
haven't had one.
It's amazing.
Never had it in a sandwich.
Did you have one last week?
Yeah, I had one last week.
I had one for dinner. I wasn't today.
For the show?
Research.
Research it. All right. Well, after that sort of little detour there, I'm gonna. Oh man! Go Ty! My grandma wants me to
Oh
go.
man.
Wow.
All right. It's over.
Yes.
Yeah, I cut it off. Great segment. What's also great is that through that entire segment, Titus's grandma was in the group chat or in the chat asking when Titus was going to make his pick, and Titus did call out his grandma and said, "Okay, a detour, grandma, I'm up next." Gave a shout out to his grandma who was listening and commenting in the
Grandma
stream, so that was
Dominguez.
Grandma Dominguez wins. Wednesday, he gotta make his pick.
Oh.
Okay, thanks, Grandma. Thank
That
you.
was a great one. We had
That was a great one. I
Adam
had forgot about
participating.
that
We had
one.
Richie on, so we had everything going.
I like
Courtside
that. We need
Rick.
more of that.
Courtside Rick.
Courtside Rick.
Well, I think we got a favorite moment for episode 200.
Yeah, 200.
Oh,
Courtside
Ricky.
Rick. Ricky.
Ricky.
Ricky. We've had him on a few times.
Oh my god.
They're great.
All right. Well, I guess technically those were my three picks that I kind of had.
Yes.
Maybe think so. Moving on, I guess to this would be Titus's grouping of picks here. So this next one comes from April 24th, 2022. This is box score number 3, Chicago Bulls versus Milwaukee Bucks. This is a pretty quick little clip here, but we'll
To the box
Keep going.
score. Another edition of the Box Out Boys podcast. As we react to Game 3, Chicago Bulls versus the Milwaukee Bucks. I am Chris, the Stats Man Gorman. With me tonight in the car, driving home from the game, we got the Sad Boys.
The Sad Boys is me. Titus 2 shots right here, and then let's pan over. Joey, he's driving, and he's got to be focused.
This is okay.
It's very unsafe. Don't do this at home, kids. I'm not holding the phone. I'm holding the phone. I'm just talking.
Joey's attention is on the road.
Yes. 2 hands on the wheel. 10 and 2. 10 and 2. He's 10 and 2.
Oh boy! All right, let's get right into it. Titus, I opened this with a video from our last box score.
I think it just trails off there. But yeah,
We were
favorite part of that is Chris hosting, not having any idea that we were doing it while we were driving. I think he thought we were going to do it from the parking lot or while we were walking.
Yeah.
I don't know why we decided to start driving, but we did.
I think we were just trying to get home. It was like a
Titus-
Wednesday night or something, right?
Yeah, and Titus just shouting, "The Sad Boys!"
The Sad Boys.
It is, I'm sad.
I had a few pops that evening.
Chris also did open that episode with a
Yeah.
clip from a previous pod. Instead of playing the sound, our sound that Adam made, our song, he played a take from Titus saying that the Bulls were definitely going to get 2 games in this series, which they promptly followed up by getting blown out at home.
Wow.
In just spectacular fashion.
Calling me out.
Yeesh.
That was a good
That was
one.
a good one.
That was a good one, Titus.
I remember that was one of my favorite podcasting moments because there was just absolutely wild to be in the car, just holding the phone. We were, hyped up on the Bulls. Even though it was a loss, it was still a really fun game to go to. So
It absolutely was. I did
Was
not
it a
even
close
remember.
game? I think it was.
no, it was
close
a,
to-
No.
they got destroyed. It wasn't. It
Wasn't
was
close at
never
all?
close.
Okay.
Yeah, it was.
They were down
maybe
20 early.
first like minute and a half. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Next one is from December 7, 2022. It's from episode 80. Probably our worst title, which is my problem because I usually title these, but it's long. What's wrong in Chicago? Are the Pelicans the West's second best team? MIP trivia and player swaps. If anybody can think of what this one might
Pelicans
be.
the West's second best team. That was a question.
That was early season.
That was an early question.
Okay.
Here we go.
I think it's fully replaced the old guard. I think we're officially in a new era, the Giannis era, if you want to call this that. So here's a starting lineup. Point guard, we have Steph Curry. Shooting guard, we have James Harden. Small forward, LeBron James. Power forward, Kevin Durant. And center, Rudy Gobert. Those are the guys who are on the way out the door. And it's our job to replace them. Chris, you want to go first or you want me to go first?
Let's you go first. We'll give your point guard. Are we doing position?
Okay,
or
yes. I'll do my
five?
position, and I will say that I cheated a little bit. And I'll do my 5, then we'll give your 5, and then we'll see Joey's 5. I did cheat a little bit. So my point guard I have is Ja. My shooting guard, I have Devin Booker. My small forward, I have Luka. This is where I cheated. I slotted him into the 3. Yep. Because to me, I had to have those 3 guys. My power forward is Tatum, and then my center, I went with. I felt like we talked about it, in the text group that Gobert didn't feel like the right guy on the list, but we couldn't figure somebody else out. So I kind of want somebody a little bit off the wall too. So I went with Bam for my center.
That's fun. Wow, your list is terrible. Who's your again?
He's 6'8", 6'9".
This is worse than your top 5 athletes of all time.
This is a great list. What are you guys talking about?
This is bad.
Ja, Booker, Luka, Tatum, Bam. Beat that team. I did not hold
Booker, Luka, Tatum. Okay, I have 2 of those guys though.
I just realized I do not have Giannis on my list.
Yeah, that's a problem. You could have cheated and made Giannis your center. That would have made more sense.
You literally called it the Giannis team.
Yeah.
And you're introducing this segment, and
It's
then
the
you
Giannis
add
era.
it to the list. It's the Giannis era.
We're calling this the Giannis era, and Bam is your
Amazing.
center.
This is unbelievable.
If you're gonna look at 3, at
Bam.
least Giannis at the 5.
All right, Chris, do you want to have a conversation and let's go through our list?
Yeah, right. Here, I'll go next.
I'm just gonna guys put something out.
Just
Wow.
no. I'm gonna go.
Oh my god. The Bam pick is egregious tough.
I can't believe you didn't take Jokic.
Jokic is not on there.
No.
Embiid's not on there.
And Giannis isn't on there.
Unreal.
Yeah,
I was just in love with Ja, I think.
It would have just been a bad list if you didn't call it the Giannis era. The fact that you called it the Giannis era and then didn't include Giannis made it just terribly wrong.
So the real list, it should be Luka, Tatum, Giannis, Embiid, Jokic.
Luka, Tatum, Giannis, Jokic.
Yeah,
Embiid.
kind of.
Yeah. Those
Yeah.
are the 5 guys.
That's the right era.
Cheating a little bit there, but yeah, that's kind of man. The Ja, Booker, it's
Ooh,
tough.
that's a tough one, boys.
That's a tough one.
Really can't come back from that.
Well, that's a great lead into the next one. This is from April 14th, 2022, episode 59. Initial play-in reactions, round 1 preview, predictions, and Larry Birtle. You guys remember playing Larry Birtle one week?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
We did play a game with Larry Birtle, but here you go.
To the last series that's set, the Mavs Jazz with no Luka though, right? Correct? He's got a calf strain.
He's not listed out yet.
Okay, he's not listed out, but I know that he's got a.
Why
he
was
had
he
an
playing
MRI.
Game 82? It's a great
Yeah.
question. This is why you don't play Game 82.
He tore his calf, or he's got a strain in his calf. Calf strain.
It's a
I believe
strain.
it was. A strain. So
He'll be
Straight.
I mean, if Luka's not playing,
It's straight.
that's tough. I would.
yes, I
some standard analysis.
Wow.
Right there. It's tough if he's not playing.
Spencer Dinwiddie's. There's a report saying Spencer Dinwiddie is willing to step, or is ready to step up. Yeah.
Sweet.
Man.
Cool story.
Cool story. Bro.
Oh, wow. That's tough. If Luka's not playing.
It's just
That's
the
tough.
pause because you're like
The pause.
you're thinking about what could I say here.
Yeah, what can I say here? What can I say this really good?
That's tough.
Let me knock this out of the park real quick, guys. Don't worry about it. What did I come up with? That's tough.
That's tough.
And then the immediate reaction from
tough.
you guys, I'm just like, yeah,
No shit, man.
no shit, it's
What?
tough. Oh, that's great.
So that is Titus's grouping of 3.
Oh man,
That's a good one. All right. The next 2 are a little bit lengthy, but I think they're worthy of listening to. So the first one is from February 3rd, 2021. So this is very early. This is episode 3.
Wow.
Titled Listener Feedback, Levine and Kobe Conversation.
Okay.
This is the first Kobe take.
Kobe White shown that he has the potential to be a productive starting point guard on a playoff team. Let's just go right to you, Joey. You're the man for this. What do you think?
No.
Oh.
Kobe is trash.
No.
I
Yes.
am. The verdict for me is done. It is sold. It is over. Game 2 of this season, I was like, dude, get this guy out of the game. Send him back in. I don't care where. Put him on a bus. Give me Chris Dunn back. Give me
right.
John Lucas. Give me Kirk Heinrich. Let's go back
John
and back. I
Lucas.
don't care who. I am not a Kobe fan. I think it's time to just write this one off. So a little bit of just coherent thought on this. Just the stats are okay, right? The stats for Kobe are fine. The problem for me is that's the problem, right? They're just fine. He's a 7th overall pick, I think it was for them.
Oh, another Bull 7
He
pick.
got the start this year over Sato, and just watching the difference between Kobe and Sato is just night and day for me. Kobe looks
Tomas Satoransky.
lost.
That's a name I haven't heard in a
He
while.
looks out of control, and he just looks like he's trying to force it way too much. I think it's a problem when Patrick Williams, who's 20 games into his professional career, looks more confident than Kobe does.
Terrible take.
I think it was
a tough
it was
look
the last
there.
game against
That's tough.
the Knicks. Chris alluded to this already, that they had to call a timeout 50 seconds in because Kobe had turned the ball over. Surprise, surprise. The best
Surprise,
part of it
surprise.
was the announcers for the poll, Stacey King and I think it was Adam Amin at that point. They just kept talking. They didn't even acknowledge the fact that there was a turnover. They were having a conversation about something else, probably the Dunkin' Donuts race or whatever it was, and they continued talking. Like they weren't even shocked, weren't even surprised, didn't even acknowledge the fact that there was a
The
turnover.
blood
They've
boiling in
become
Joey
so
right now.
used to it, and him just running with his head down at the basket as fast as he can.
Joey came in
possibly go,
hot.
and just chucking
Episode
a
3.
weird layup up. That's just what it is. So no, I don't think Kobe could be productive on a playoff team. I don't think he could be productive on most teams. I'm off on Kobe. I don't want any part of it.
Wow.
And kind of, into our second part of the question, long-term fit for Levine and Kobe. I think we're going to talk more about that in a minute. But no, right? It's got to be Sato. He's your point guard right now. He should be the one in the game. Facilitating. Chris mentioned this.
Sato should
on
be in the
Knicks,
game right now.
Bulls recap that there just needs to be a more consistent facilitator for this team. I think Laurie would benefit from it. Levine would benefit from it. It would hopefully knock down Levine's turnovers because he's handling the ball way too damn much. But when your point guard is Kobe White, I'm not surprised that you have to do that. So, no, not a point guard for me.
The Heat was.
Yeah, no. Wow. A scorching hot take, first of all. Correct. And just, wow, some names there. Markkanen was still on the Bulls. Satoransky.
Yeah.
Wow, we were really in the trenches there.
Otto Porter was still on the team.
That was some real dark days for the
We've
Bulls.
been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lori.
I think
still in the Bulls, man.
One of my favorite parts, it keeps going, is Chris openly admits that he was in the same boat as I was, but because I was so aggressive, he felt the need to defend him.
Yeah.
And then that started an entire decent series of me and Chris going back and forth about the effectiveness of Kobe White.
I didn't think it would go on this long. I had so many stats saying like, yeah, Kobe's not that good, and then you just came in so hot. On
you
it.
did. You literally said you're like, I have all the
I gotta
stats to say he's
I
not
gotta zag
good.
a little bit on this.
You know what we should start doing, and this just came to me right now. But we should start retiring players for the podcast.
We can't
not that we don't
about him anymore.
Well, we can either do it that, hey, we don't speak about him, or it's just that player became such a topic on our show that we're retiring their number. Like it's like instead of what I mean, like they were an all-time great box out boy topic, and I feel like Kobe White should be the first and ever inductee into the box out.
I don't want to say that we should never talk about him again. Though.
No, yeah, I don't think we should
like a Hall of Fame of players of box out boys.
That's a good
Kobe
idea.
White. I thought it'd be
Kobe
Bobby
White.
Portis, but we don't talk about him nearly as much as we do Kobe White.
No, it should be Kobe White is the first one up. Maybe this year in the offseason we can come up with some names.
Kobe White did get an entire PowerPoint presentation.
He did
made about him to defend my stance on him, and all along Chris was just trolling me, but I was so deep in the hatred that I couldn't.
The hatred.
Release your anger.
I wasn't even trolling. I was just.
You were just trying to like balance it.
You were just so.
He really did not like Kobe White.
I sniffed that out from day one.
That was just the personality of someone who's really truly been watching every single minute of a Bulls basketball game and just like
he's like, no, this guy
ripping
sucks.
your head out, your hair out,
ripping your head out. A couple of good ones for you this episode, Chris.
Yeah. All right. The next one is another pretty long one, but I think it might have given us maybe our second favorite catchphrase that we've used throughout time in our podcast. It also is probably something I think we wouldn't do today, where we would spend a lot of time doing what we did. So this is from May 13, 2021, episode 17, titled "Any Idiot Can Have a Podcast."
We're gonna court is in session. So our boy Chris runs the Twitter account. Got this little beef this week. So I'll let you guys take it away. Joey and Chris are going to kind of act this out. I have steered clear of the beef. I have not watched it yet or looked at it, so I'm going to be the impartial judge to see what happened. So when you guys are ready.
All right, so the initial tweet was, BT Dubs, the way y'all hate on Pascal and Fred and OG and every developing player on the Raptors, I'm sorry, but you aren't made to root for a tank team. Y'all think these rookies came ready-made? Even Kyrie had the Cavs less than 50-plus this season. You need to get that hate out of your hearts. 30 retweets, 480 likes, just to give you an idea of what's going on here. This is like this came from like a Toronto's reporter as well. He liked it, so that's how it showed up on my Twitter feed. Box Out Boys. Imagine calling Pascal and Fred developing players. Now, let me preface this by saying, you didn't call them developing players. But hey, hang on, that's my tweet. Imagine calling Pascal and Fred developing players. And then we have after that.
So that's me. I am Beer Browser at Beer_Browser. Year 4 is what? Just look at DeMar, still developing. The man went from being one-dimensional to one of the best playmaking wings in the league after he left the Raptors. 7.3 assists per game, leads the league at his position.
He just said DeMar DeRozan?
Correct.
You mentioned
after
DeMar
leaving this season. After okay. All right, so right now I'm just going to go ahead and I'm taking a notch. It's a notch to Chris right there.
Then Box Out Boy, at the Box Out Boys 1, DeMar isn't developing. The system around him changed. What Fred and Pascal did to bring Toronto was fantastic. They've improved a bit since then, but now they are who they are.
Straight facts, by the way.
Retort.
DeMar could barely pass when he first started out. He makes it clear every offseason
he could barely
that he
pass when he first started.
Game.
He didn't know how to pass a basketball when he first started playing in the NBA.
But the idea any NBA player isn't still learning and changing after a few years is just flat out wrong. It continues, tweet number 2. For example, Fred has been working on his finishing at the rim, and Siakam has been working on his mid-range, both of which will be essential to their success and were big holes in their skill sets.
Hitting you with facts. I like it.
Fine, yeah.
Fine.
And then Box Out Boys comes back with, every NBA player is still developing then. Fred and Pascal can make marginal improvements every year, but I don't see any major leaps coming from them. OG could still take a big leap. He's shown flashes of being a star this year. So I'm trying
Still
to
waiting for that leap.
Yeah, you're engaging. Fair. Get this guy kind of on my side. Like, hey,
He's declining his $20 million options. So.
We're trying to get listeners.
I'm standing by this. I'm sounding pretty good here.
This is fine. This aged well.
All right, it's a two-parter. I'm just going to read it all at once because it kind of goes on. Today's example of any idiot can have a podcast.
Oh, that's a great line.
Yes, every NBA player is developing. Some are more successful, some aren't. But it's still a process that is happening. So OG could continue developing, but FVV, Fred VanVleet, and Siakam are done because you declared it? Get the out of here.
The duck.
Pascal is a top 5 power forward in the league after coming in as a nobody who had barely played competitive basketball. Fred is one of the best guard defenders in the league who has improved his offense every single year after going undrafted. Marginal? For sakes, man.
And then I come back with, I'm not knocking the players. I even mentioned they've made big leaps. Pascal and Fred are not, quote, developing players. They are above average players. I don't think they'll be MVPs in the future, but it sounds like you do.
But you.
It kind of goes on a little bit longer from there, but the guy throws some semantics back at Chris and says, just because you're using different words to describe developing doesn't mean that you're right. And yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Wow. The Eddie Idiot can have a podcast.
That was such a gold line.
That's
I
a gold,
love that line.
It's a gold line. I also don't think we would take turns reading an entire Twitter conversation at this point in time in our.
We might. I feel like we should bring this back.
I've been trying. I haven't been trying that hard to get another beef like that. I need a.
I think we need some fresh beef. I thought that's where substandard analysis and stuff came from. Or was that something else?
No, you just came up with that.
Yeah, you created substandard analysis all on your own. It was all you, buddy.
I thought that was from.
So what do you guys think of that take 2 years later? What's the consensus on that take right now?
You clearly won that beef.
Yeah, you absolutely
won the beef.
You destroyed that beef.
You shredded the beef.
But still, right? Like it's still like
I get what he's saying. Like they're developing in the sense that they're maybe sharpening their skills or adding a jump shot or something like that. But you're 100% right. It's like you're not developing and like improving some skills are different things. Developing is like becoming the player you're going to be. Once you're the player you are, can you add a few tools? Sure. But that's not develop. That's not the same thing.
He thought they could become even better. And it's like, no, this is who they are.
This is who they are. And I think you're 100% right.
Yeah.
Siakam is who he is. VanVleet is who he is.
So fucking smart.
Also, the DeMar comment of him being one of the best playmakers at his position is just that was when he was on San Antonio.
Yeah. Once he said that, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fun. All right, let's go.
Let's go. All right, so this is the last one on Chris's ring here. So June 23rd, 2021. Suns on fire game sevens and a special guest.
Covered all that.
Let's talk about the jersey that you guys got to get.
Yeah, so hold on. I'll just quickly, if you are just joining us, we had a bet. Me and Joey took the Brooklyn to make the finals. Is that what it was?
That's right.
Just the East Conference Finals.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. That's it.
It was just the Eastern Conference Finals. It wasn't. I don't know finals.
Yeah, they had to win the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay.
They had
to win the East.
They had to win the East, and Chris took the field, and Chris is correct. So we had a jersey bet. So Chris, tell us what jerseys we will be buying.
So there was a lot of thought that went into this process.
Man.
Titus, for you, it really wasn't that. It wasn't that hard. Especially after watching one of the games at Atlanta and just seeing all those jerseys and all those people buying those jerseys. They look like a great jersey, and obviously Trae Young has to be a part of your collection going forward. There's a lot to choose from, like I was saying earlier, a little bit. There's a good alternate jersey with ATL on it. There's an MLK one, obviously with the Selma stuff. But wait, why? Anyways,
it's a different thing.
Why?
Yeah, that's. I don't know why.
It's a Selma. Like,
there's a history with it. Anyways,
stay away from that one.
Dude, it's gonna be great. It's gonna last. The great thing with jerseys is, and we talked about this in a couple pods ago, is that you want to make sure the player's on the team for a long time, right? Mm-hmm. Like you don't want to have a Carlos Quentin situation. And you're not going to get that with Trae Young. Trae Young is going to be on this Atlanta team for the next 10, 15 years. And I'm really excited for this for you because we'll be able to talk about this for a long time. And I'm pumped. Joey. Oh, sorry. Yeah, let me.
So, are you going with my thoughts? So obviously, I felt like this was coming with my non-love of Trae Young. So this is thank you for this gift you have given me. I will wear it. I will wear it. I will wear the jersey. I will wear it.
That is all.
That is all. I will have to look into the alternates and the ones that look cool, but I guess I'm getting a Trae Young jersey. Cool.
And then Joey, I was between two for you. There was a LeBron James #6 Lakers jersey that just became available. That would have been fun.
Anthony's on this.
I'm not going to do
Andrew?
that because I think you would just throw it away or it would just be like in a corner somewhere. It has to be Kobe White. It just has to be it. It was the low hanging fruit that's so tasty that you just have to just eat
So
it up.
tasty.
I think it's a Bulls jersey.
It's a Bulls jersey. That's my biggest thing with it is that you get a Bulls jersey and you can do whatever one you want. Like the Chicago alternate from this year was all right. I like the last year.
Yeah.
Last year was pretty good, but
Do the script.
So,
either way,
Yeah.
do you know what number is really easy to make out of a 0? The number 8.
I know. There's this Levine.
It's about to be a Zach LaVine jersey. I'm just kidding.
I don't know how you're gonna make Levine out of white, but
There's no. I'm just gonna duct tape 2 zeros, and I'm always gonna wear this shirt underneath it at all times.
Yeah.
That's fair. That is fair.
Yes,
I
these are
will.
great pick.
Oh, that was a good one.
How are
That's
those
good.
jerseys? Where are those jerseys at today?
I still have mine hanging up in the closet behind me. So
Mine is hanging up in the closet as well. I have worn it. I've worn it a handful of times just
yes,
because
I've
it's a
worn
Bulls
mine.
jersey.
I think mine's actually a little tight right now, so I might have to
Oh.
dust it off.
That was a good. What do they call it? Like an ambition.
Yeah, I gotta
Sure.
keep it.
It's a
I
good,
gotta-
a good
gotta
check
slim
and
down a little
balance. There you go.
There you go. All right, the last one. I think this is most fitting and why I saved it for last. Probably the most loyal participant of our show besides the three of us. This is maybe one of our favorite listener questions we've had the entire time. This comes from April 7th, 2021, episode 12, the top 25 under 25, and
Wow,
the
I remember
worst franchise, also known as the Freaky Friday episode.
Got a question in the chat from
Freaky
Mass
Friday.
Awesome.
That's be awesome. What's up, man?
If you could Freaky
Cook
Friday
man.
one NBA player, who would it be and why?
So wait, we become the player, or we're
Freaky Friday. You don't understand Freaky Friday.
What's
No,
Freaky Friday.
You're Lindsay Lohan. And
No thanks.
players Jamie Lee
No
Curtis.
thanks.
No thanks.
No, hold on. But I get it. But I'm asking, is it 2 players? Are we Freaky Fridaying 2 different players?
Right. Are you saying like
Or am
we're
I Freaky
swapping?
Fridaying
Yeah. Are we swapping like?
Wow.
You're swapping your life with a player.
Swamping.
Oh, it's LeBron.
Swamping.
Okay. Explain.
I'm going to be the greatest basketball player of all time.
It's lonely at the top, man. I don't know. I don't want to be the guy
fine
at the
with
top.
me. This is all great. I'm just going to go and play in the finals.
Explain.
It would be awesome.
Explain.
Like, so this is for one day.
Have you not seen Freaky Friday?
No, I've never seen Freaky Friday.
What do you mean you've never seen Freaky
I've never seen Freaky Friday.
I know the premise. I know what happens in Freaky
One day,
Friday.
LeBron wouldn't have a game. He would just sit at home.
We just sit at home. And, or you know what? The other guy would be Ben Simmons. I just think
LeBron.
Ben Simmons.
Ben Simmons. I was in love with Ben Simmons at the time.
So
our special guest is LeBron James.
it's me, Chris Adam, and LeBron James.
And LeBron James hosting the Lockdown Boys. I'm just saying it was a young podcast, guys.
So that's why you're picking him. Okay.
Yes, I don't know. Wait, you guys got answers for this? That's a good question. I like that.
I'm gonna swap with Luca.
Ooh, no, that would be
Nice.
Give me some Luca magic
fun. Luka Magic.
for however many days Freaky Friday lasts. 1 day, 2 days. I don't know.
Oh, here we are. Here we
Believe it or
go.
not.
Go ahead, Chris, and then I'll amend
No,
it.
what are you gonna say? What are you gonna say?
I was going to amend it. You can Freaky Friday a player's game, okay? So you take their abilities like Space Jam Monstar style, and then you go to your open gym run and play like that player. Which player are you picking? Because I'm taking Dame. I'm going to Freaky Friday.
Well, that's different. That's a different question.
But okay. So which are you gonna want to go have some some post moves like Sabonis or Embiid?
No, I'm taking Dame. That's a great call.
I'm
just pulling up. You're just pulling up every time there's a rebound and just launching it. And
Joey Froze. Oh, you're back.
I'll be Jokic. I can do whatever I want. But Jokic just shoot the ball.
Pick Jokic.
Anyways, hang on. Let me answer the Freaky Friday question.
Answer the Freaky Friday question.
So, if I got to Freaky Friday with a player, I would pick Kelly Oubre Jr.
Okay.
And hear me out.
Explain.
He has the lowest. He is the lowest body fat of anybody in the NBA. It's always like 3%. He's considered the most styled player in the NBA.
He's trying to look good.
A lot of NBA players always talk about like they gotta watch their girl around him because he's just such a ladies' man. And he just had a thing earlier this week where he just told the Warriors like, "I ain't never coming off the bench for this team." The cockiness, the headiness on that man, I will never have his kind of confidence and level.
Braggadocious.
And I would just love to experience that, I think, for a day or two, just to understand why he has that. Because obviously then Andrew Bogut, who this report came from, then said people in that locker room were like, Andre Iguodala, finals MVP, came off the bench and was okay with it on this Warriors team. And Kelly fucking Oubre, Duck, is not going to come off the bench for this team. Like, come on. I want Kelly Oubre Jr. to understand why he feels this way and how he feels this way.
It's a thought experiment. I want to be smoking hot. That would be my
experiment.
My reason behind Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, like his Instagram page is so awesome. The dude looks cool as all hell, man.
I think we just lost Baskets Be Awesome because we're talking about the fashion and then.
we were never going to lose baskets.
Well, at that point, we thought it was a random male fan.
Random stranger.
I always think it's males.
We did.
Yeah.
That was a good long one.
That was a good.
I
Freaky
love
Friday.
when Tide is like, wait, I'm still questioning it. Do you not know what Freaky Friday? No, I don't.
Yeah. No, I don't know Freaky
Chris
Friday.
is just appalled that we don't know what Freaky Friday is. Astounded.
Freaky Friday.
And then he chooses Kelly Oubre Jr.
Not seen the Lindsay Lohan classic?
Have you not seen the Lindsay Lohan classic, Freaky Friday? Oh, great show, you guys. Hold on, I think we got one more comment here. Here we go. Another Hall of Famer. Big Daddy Kumquat coming in. Those past episodes are hilarious. I'm deeply, deeply disturbed, but pleasantly amused. Good stuff. Long loss, stats man, and 2 shots. Keep it going. Much success for the next 100. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Yes.
That was a good trip down memory lane.
It was good. That was worth it. I'm glad we did that. Maybe in 100 episodes, we'll do it again.
I think so.
200, we'll do if we make it. That's a long way.
Titus says retire early.
Might retire early and go to my cucumber farm.
There you go.
There you go. Anything else to add tonight, boys? You guys want to wrap up episode 100?
Let's put a bow on it.
Put a bow on it.
I know you didn't rank those in any way, but the perfect way to end it with the Freaky Friday.
Freaky Friday, yes.
That's still my favorite question.
It is still Freaky Friday. It was our first. I felt like it was our first organic moment that just was. It was really fun.
We need more of those. I need more of that. That's why it makes this a lot more fun.
This is why we do it.
Or the most fun is
it has been
like that.
Yes. And as much as we do the show, and every once in a while, we're trying to struggle for topics, or whatever. So we always come up with something, and we always have fun doing it. So we'll keep doing it as long as we can. So that is it for us tonight. Join us next week or sometime to talk more NBA basketball. It's off season, so the schedule is fluid. We'll be here when we're here. NBA basketball. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch. Slide in those DMs at the Box Out Boys. Join us live Wednesdays around 8:30 and send us an email to theboxoutboys@gmail.com. And as always, like, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to us at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Joey, Chris, and Adam, I'm Titus. Until next time, Box Out.